Hi guys, it's your girl Kiki. I'm using this for microphone purposes, like audio purposes. I don't want the noise my fridge is making to be in the video. I just finished taking my shower and I'm about to do my morning routine. And as you can see, I am in a completely different space. The background is different. I had blinds. My wall was grey, not white. And I don't think my shelf used to be here, like when I'm talking from my table. Yeah, it was a completely different background. I just remember what it looked like. So this is what I use. It doesn't want to focus. It's the Glow Deep Serum by Beauty of Joseon. I use ordinary hyaluronic acid before I use this, but my ordinary is done and my people are out of stock. So I'm just going to be using this. So the reason why I'm here. First, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share if you're an old subscriber. Thank you for coming back. I love you guys so much. What does it look like? I'm not wearing anything. I'm actually wearing a top. 4 months ago, 4 months ago, I had to move out of my house sitting job. So if you don't know, right now that I'm not at that place anymore, I'm looking for lip gloss. I can like give out my location. I used to house sit at an apartment in Mirage, and it was a rented apartment. It wasn't a bought apartment. That job came to an end, so I had to move in. I moved out of Mirage in February. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, in February. So I moved from Mirage to my old place where I just moved out of, and when I was moving out of Mirage, I didn't want to move back to my mom's because my mom's place is a bit too crowded for me, in the sense that I'm not able to create effectively in a space that has more than 3 people. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm the type of person who can't function properly around a lot of people. So I couldn't move back to my mom's place. I mean, after I moved from Mirage, I had to stay at my mom's place for a while before I looked for the place I moved out of. So the space I moved out of was in Pantine, Adenta Pantine. So now that the thing is dry, I have to use my moisturizer. This is what I use. It has SPF in it, so I don't have to use sunscreen. I had moved to Pantine in March, so my rent officially started 1st March. The thing is, I mean, before you look for a place in Accra, usually you have to go to like the GG website or any other housing website, like any other website you can use to look for a space to rent. So I used GG because I went on Mikasa, and the houses on Mikasa are expensive. It's very bougie, but they're expensive. And GG has like affordable options. So I went on GG because I knew I had a budget and I knew exactly what I was looking for. So I was scrolling through GG. At that time, I was still at Mirage, but it was almost time for me to leave. Like I had to start packing my stuff to leave. So I was in a bit of a hurry. One thing you shouldn't do is move into a space because you are desperate. Don't do that. I went on the GG app. I scrolled through a couple of apartments. I saw a couple of spaces that fitted my budget. Like it was working with my budget. I feel like everybody has things they believe in. I believe in spirits, like people leaving rooms and leaving their spirits there. So I don't ever rent an apartment or a room somebody has lived in, ever. So if I'm renting an apartment or if I'm renting a room, I am always the first person to stay there because I don't know what the person has done there. I don't know who rented the place. It's something I believe in and it works for me. So I'd always ask, please, is there a new space? Like, is there a new place? Has anybody lived there before? And some of them will tell me yes, some of them will tell me no. When you go and see their space, it's like 1,000 people lived there before they started renting this house. And I'm like, how is this place new? One thing about the GG app is most of the people on there are liars. Most of the agents there are crooks. Most of them are liars. Most of them are just frauds. I found this place upon time, and I called the agent. When I called the agent, he said he was at Ebri, so he's going to give me the caretaker's number to call. Like there was somebody there who was taking care of the place. So I called the person and I was like, "Hi, please, I saw your listing on Gigi and I want to come and see the place." It was a single room, self-contained. You guys saw the space, like when I did the finishing and everything. You guys saw it. So he said he was around. So I went to look at the place. The first thing I noticed when I got to the space was the windows were louver blades and not sliding windows. And I was like, and then Ghana. One is sea dine, louver blades, unless it's an old house. Now everybody's like buying into the whole sliding window thing because of a lot of benefits sliding window gives over louver blades. But I was like, okay, fine, let me just go and look at the place. So I looked at the space. He showed me a room downstairs. That was the room I picked. And then he said they had a couple more upstairs, but it wasn't done. The rooms upstairs were sliding windows. So I would have, am I saying the correct thing? Is it sliding windows? Like that, yeah, sliding windows, whatever it is. This type of window. So the rooms upstairs had this type of window. So that was initially what I wanted to go for. But he said they were not done. That's what the caretaker told me. The caretaker told me it wasn't done. And I needed a space. So he's like, the one downstairs too is cool. And then I asked him, is it a new space? When I went to the room, they had painted the place. It looked nice. And they had painted it my color. It was grey. So I was thinking it's aligning with what I want. Jokes on me. I mean, when I entered the space at first, I knew it wasn't a new place. But because it had fresh painting, when I asked him and he lied to me, I just bought into it. And then I asked, is there water? The nigga told me there's usually water, but today they had closed the tap. It was a lie. The mistake I also did was I didn't talk to any of the tenants in the building. There were tenants moving around and everything. And it's like a whole apartment that has like different rooms. I told him that I wanted to give him the deposit because I didn't want him to give the room out. Because I saw the room, I was like, okay, I can work on this. I like it. It's new because he said it was new. So let me just take it and then come back and work on it. And I'll make it my own space. So I was telling him I wanted to give him the deposit and later I'll come and pay the rest on Sunday. I think it was a Thursday. I went on a Thursday. And he said, oh no, he doesn't want to spend the money. So I should keep it. Sunday, then I bring everything. So it made me feel like, okay, he's being genuine. Fast forward, Sunday, I went with my friend to go and look at the space and pay for the space. There's an ant here, and I really don't like ants. Where is it? It literally just vanished. So Sunday, I went with my friend to go and look at the space and pay for the space. When I went there, the landlady was there, her son was there, and I think her sister. They were outside with the caretaker and some of the tenants in the house. They were having a misunderstanding. I don't want to call this an argument because it wasn't necessarily an argument. It was just a misunderstanding they were trying to solve. So the landlady was trying to solve the misunderstanding between the caretaker and the tenant. So I entered the house and I met all this. And I met this one saying this and this one saying that. So I stood by my friend's car and I was looking at her and I was like, do you think we should go back? Because if you have been met in the mumpo, I've not even come to live in the house and then they're already like having misunderstanding. And I don't like noise. I really, really don't like noise. I hate arguments. So I was like, do you think we should go back? And she was like, we should just wait. So now we waited and they had finished like solving the whole issue. I paid for the space. She gave me the tenancy agreement. I signed everything, and I had to like enter my new space and see how I'm going to work with the space with my friend. So I entered with her. I showed her the space, and I noticed that the window, the metal thing you put the blade in, I noticed it was damaged. So I told the landlady's son. He was standing by me right then. I was like, the window thing is damaged, so one of the blades is coming out and I don't want to have to like have a problem with that, so can he get it fixed? And he told me he would let the carpenter come in tomorrow and come and fix it, and that it was the people that lived there, no, it was a person that lived there that damaged it. And I said, person that lived where? I thought the space was new. And he said, no, one person lived there. He also lied to me. I'm like, I don't like renting spaces that somebody has already lived. I said it to him. So I started like fussing about it, and I was fussing to my friend, and I was like, what does she think? And she said, oh, I be it's for a year, so I should just rent it. And then if after a year I feel like I want to move out, then I can move out. Worst mistake. So now I rent this space, I pay for it and everything. And then initially I was supposed to pay a particular amount of money because that's what the caretaker told me was the rent. Apparently that wasn't even the amount I was supposed to pay. I was supposed to pay 50 cedis lower, and then the caretaker had put like extra 50 cedis on the rent. So I don't know what he was like trying to do, because when I paid the money, they brought me back change and said the rent is so and so, and then I had like paid like 50 cedis extra for a year. So like that's 50 cedis times 12. That's how much they brought back to me, and I was like, this is how much this guy told me it was. And they said that's not the amount. He lied to me, and I said, okay, fine. So in my head, this nigga is just a liar. Like, he's literally lying about everything. You're lying about rent too. Why are you lying about rent? I found the ant. I'm so sorry. So fast forward, I moved in, I think on 3rd March. I worked on the space, I pimped it, I got my carpenter to come and do stuff for me, and then I decorated the space myself. There were so many red flags about that building that I ignored, and that was my mistake. I really shouldn't have ignored all those red flags. First off, it's a very small space. When I say very small space, I mean very, very small space. The kitchen is small, the bathroom is small, the room is small. The kitchen was very small, and I'm a food content creator. So imagine creating food content in a very small kitchen. It was chaotic. I ignored all these things because I still wanted somewhere to be, and I wasn't ready to go through the whole rent stress. I wasn't ready. I was telling myself every time that, look, I'm not ready for this. Let me just pay for this space. Like my friend said, it was just for a year. So after a year, if I wanted to move out, then I could. So many red flags I ignored. I moved into the space. I decorated the space. I loved the space because I made it my home. That's my home. And I was telling my landlady when the whole issue came up that I work from home. I can't be in a space I'm not comfortable with. It won't make me productive. So at some point I wasn't being productive. Like I literally couldn't do anything. I couldn't shoot. I couldn't edit. I had piled up videos I couldn't edit because I was in an environment that wasn't conducive for me. It wasn't conducive for my thinking. It wasn't conducive for anything I had to do. Fast forward in mid-June, we are entering raining season. We are actually in raining season. It starts raining. I was talking to a friend on the phone, so I just had said, I came back to my room and my carpet is wet. My fair carpet is wet, the big one. So I have like 2 fair carpets. I have like a black, white, grey, all combination in one like fair rag, and then I have like a totally black one. So I had gone to the other side of my room and I had stepped on the black fair rag and it was wet. And I said, I checked my fridge. My fridge wasn't off. It was still on. It didn't look like they had turned off the lights for like water to be coming out of my fridge. So I just thought it was my fridge. I traced the water to the window, and it had rained that day. So I told my friend that I think when it rained, water like came through the window, the louver blades, and it fell in my room. That's what I thought. But then again, I don't ever open my louver blades because I have an AC. So I told her I didn't open my louver blades. I don't know how the water entered my room, but there's water in my room. I didn't complain to the landlady the first time it happened. I just spoke to my friend and I was like, let me just forget about it. I go out again. The second time it happened, I come back, and this time around, it's even worse. My whole black carpet is wet and it's smelling. I checked my window and I had noticed that part of the wall, like beneath my window, was peeling off. So that's when I was like, okay, fine. I think when it rains, the rain passes through the window frame and enters the room. Wrong. Like I said, I'm going to be putting like videos and pictures somewhere here or there. So apparently I thought it was the window frame. wasn't the window frame. The rain is passing through the walls and it has created a hole in the wall and it's entering my room. It had to happen the fourth time before I knew where it was coming from. Because the fourth time I was literally sitting in my room, I was talking to my best friend on the phone and it started raining. When it started raining, I'm hearing like drops of water. And I'm like, Obi be a tap will be there, man. So I was like, why has somebody opened the tap in my room? I get up to check and water is coming from my walls like I had opened tap in my room and it's pouring on my carpets. There was a part where the carpet wasn't touching. That's how come I could hear that water was dripping on the floor. And then now it's pouring on that part of the floor and then it's wetting my whole fair carpet. And at this point, I was like, I've had it. What is this? That was the fourth time it was happening. And that was the third time I was complaining to the landlady. I called her. Her phone was off. I texted her, sent her videos, sent her pictures, and all of that. And I was like, you know something? I can't be in a space where I have obviously told you that this is the only space I have. This is a space I have to work. This is a space I have to sleep. This is a space I literally do everything. Apart from the fact that I shoot my YouTube content in that space. I do my cooking content. I sleep there. I edit there. I work there. I can't be in a space that is uncomfortable for me. She told me they'll make the amazing come and check and he will come and do. Honestly, like I was tired. And then, you know this thing where a lot of landlords and like Accra homeowners say, if you want, if you think you can't stay, I would give you your rent. And I'm like, I think I can't stay. Please give me my rent. All the time I was saying, yeah, okay, fine. I've had it. So I need my rent so that I can move out. I didn't know where I was going to stay. I was totally lost. I didn't have any idea who I was going to go to. I don't know where I was going to start from. I was thinking about having to now go and look for another apartment and go and furnish it and like decorate the whole place. It was stress for me, but I had it. I was ready to move out of this apartment. The most dangerous part about the whole thing is water was actually flowing from my AC socket. So the fourth time it happened, I was going to turn my AC socket off and I noticed the shock. Like I noticed the thing literally shocked me, but it was very slight. And I was like, bro, this is very dangerous. That was my first. The fact that it is actually dangerous. It's not only uncomfortable, it's actually dangerous to my health. Are you people waiting for me to get shocked or get electrocuted to death before you think that this is something you have to fix? That was my main problem. That was something I kept complaining about, and honestly, it was just a lot for me. I had it, so I had to move out. Fast forward 3 days after, the mason had still not come. Nobody had come to check it. Nobody had tried fixing it. So I called her again. So I was on the phone with her and then one other guy from the apartment. I was talking to her and then she hung up on me because she said she was at church. So she needed to go to church. That's the first thing that even pissed me off. The fact that she hung up on me. Like, I'm complaining about something I've already complained before. And you're hanging up on me because you said the pressure I'm giving you don't like it. And I said, I'm not giving you pressure. It is uncomfortable for me. I can't pay rent and be sleeping in people's houses. I leave my room there. Because of that, I've removed my carpets. My shoe boxes can't be in my room. Like, they're at some parts of my room. My room is like really, really disorganized. And I have OCD. It's affecting me mentally. So I can't be in a space where it is uncomfortable for me. And you've already told me that if I want my rent, you give me my rent. So please give me my rent and let me move out. I said that, and then there was this lady in the caretaker's room who came out and she said, who is that talking to her sister? She thinks the person is talking a bit harsh. That was when the whole thing started. That was when everything blew out of proportion. I said, first off, I don't even know who you are. And I really think it is very important to mind your business, because you don't know why I'm complaining. You don't know what situation I'm in. You don't know the state of my room right now. You don't know how frustrated I am. So please don't put your mouth in my business. This is exactly what I said to this woman. Started talking plenty. She blew the whole thing out of proportion. She insulted me. It became a whole argument. I'm like, okay, fine. Call your sister. Tell her I want my rent money. I'm leaving the apartment today. I packed my things in less than an hour. How I packed my things, I have no idea till now. I used anger to pack everything in my room. I packed all my clothes. I packed my things into like a box in a juice bag. I literally packed everything in less than an hour, and I was like, you know what, I'm done. Please bring my rent money and let me go. She said she was gonna come at 2. I said no problem. 2 o'clock. No, she didn't even come at 2. She came after 3. I think 4, 5 thereabouts. And she came. When she came, she's like, what happened? We narrated the whole thing to her, and then I told her I didn't like the fact that his sister had to insult me for us to get here. I didn't want to have problems with her. I don't have any grudge against her. She's somebody I genuinely liked, but with what's going on, I can't live here. So she should give me my rent money and let me move out. And she said she was going to eat and come back, da da da. She spoke and she was like, if there's a problem, we solve it. And I was like, yeah, I was ready to stay and solve this problem. But her sister has actually made everything worse. And I'm not going to stay in a building where somebody has insulted me and said so many things about me just because I was complaining about something that is uncomfortable for me. You don't even live in the building, first off. That's the most annoying part. Her sister didn't even live in the building. She gave her money to the guy, and then she spoke to me, and I was like, I don't have a problem with her. If they can get it fixed, I will stay. I don't have a problem with that. So after they get it fixed, I'm hoping it rains really, really heavy for me to see if water is coming to enter my room again, and I would stay. If not, I'm leaving the building. Now we were contemplating on whether to unpack my stuff or not. It was the guy, my friend I had made in the building, and then another friend that I had also met there. And we're contemplating. And I was even telling my friend, I'm willing to stay for like the next 6 months because I can't like stress and go look for another apartment. It's a lot of work for me. I am tired. So I'll probably just do 6 months after they fixed whatever the problem is. And then I made my friend come to the apartment. My other friend who doesn't live there come and see the situation. And then she was like, yo, this thing is not from the window. It is from the building. Unless, of course, they are going to plaster the foundation. I can't stay here. And this particular friend of mine knows me very well. She knows when I start to get uncomfortable about something, it affects my whole mental health. It affects me physically. It affects me in every aspect of my life. So she's like, look, you can't stay here. And I'm like, where am I going to go? Because I don't have any other place to go. Like, I was literally displaced. I always had to come in the morning, come and pick up clothes, go to my friend's house, bath there, sleep there, come back. And I didn't like that life. I don't like the fact that I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not in a particular space. It's like every time I have to wake up figuring things out. It's like I have to wake up thinking, so where am I going to go? What am I going to do? What am I doing today? Like, I didn't like that life. So I was asking her, where am I going to stay? She's like, I shouldn't worry about it. I should just pack my things. The landlady should give me my money. I should tell the boy that I'm not staying. I took my money from him, and I was supposed to come and pick up my stuff and all of that. And when I was picking up my things, they had called a carpenter to come and change the wooden frame. And I was just like, this thing that they are doing doesn't solve the problem. The problem is still in the wall. The wall is still faulty. Changing the frame doesn't solve the problem. But at that point, it was none of my business. I just had to pick my things from that place and leave. And it's been very draining to have to move twice in the space of 6 months. You guys have no idea how tired and exhausted I am. Like, I haven't gotten the time to sleep properly until yesterday. This whole video is literally just to like tell you the things you should look out for when you are renting an apartment in Accra. Very, 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 very important. The first thing you have to look out for is the pricing. You have to have a budget. You have to know what you are ready to spend, and make sure what you're getting is worth the money you're paying. The second thing you have to look at is the location. The location of the space is very, very important. How close it is to where your life literally revolves. The only reason why I keep moving around Adenta and its environs is because my life literally revolves around the side. My church is here, my mom's house is here, so I don't want to move anywhere further. That's why I keep moving around these places. So you should be like aware of where your life is like even if it's not 100%, like 70% of your life is, and then try and look for an apartment in that specific location. When you decide to rent a space, the first thing you do after you have like looked at the outside, the first thing you check for inside is availability of water. If you ask if there's water and then they tell you that the taps are not flowing at that time, if you can talk to other tenants, ask them how the water situation in the house is. It is very frustrating to rent an apartment or rent a space and there's literally no water. And now you have to go and be looking for your water. Water is like one of the most basic things you shouldn't stress about. Water is very, very important. Water is life. It's the most basic thing. So if you decide to rent a space that doesn't have water, you're just going to be stressed out. The whole time you're in the apartment, you're always going to be stressed about looking for water. And that's not a good thing. The network. I know a lot of people don't check this. I know a lot of people don't check their phone network and stuff like that when they enter an apartment. That's one of the few things I do when I enter an apartment. I check if my phone has network, because some apartments there's literally no network. Like it's there, it's cancelled, and I'm like, where are we living? Because why is there no network here? So you should check for your network, check for the bars, check if like there's enough bars at where you are, because you're going to be frustrated when you end up renting and then you realize the network there is not good, or MTN doesn't work properly here, or Vodafone doesn't work here, Vodafone sucks here, da da da. You're going to be very, very frustrated. That's one of the things you should check out for too. And if possible, before you pay for any space you rent in Accra, try and talk to anybody around. If there are tenants there, try and talk to the tenants. Ask them how the living condition is. Please look for a sensible person and talk to them. I know you can't really judge a book by a cover, but sometimes when you see some people, you know they're sensible. When you see some people, you know they're not sensible. So just try and look for a sensible person to talk to, and then ask them how living in that particular space is, or how things are in the house and things like that. Because if I had done this, I wouldn't have rented the space I rented. I wouldn't have had to go through everything I went through, wasted money, wasted my time, wasted my resources. I wouldn't have had to do all that. I don't want this video to be too long because I'm going to add like a very brief room tour of this space. But note, I'm not done with this space, just like 70% done with this space. I don't think there's anything extra I'm going to do to this space, to be very, very honest, because I like the space as it is. If there's anything I'm going to be doing, probably putting picture frames on these walls, and I don't know, maybe buy like little decorative stuff to like enhance the look of this space. But that's like the only thing I'm going to do. I'm not going to do anything extra, but I'm going to give you guys a room tour of my new space. To be honest, when you enter the space, you'll notice I haven't really done much to the space. In fact, I actually haven't worked on it. I just literally moved my things from my old space to this space. So yeah, I haven't worked on it. I'm just really exhausted. I can't like do anything extra to this space at the moment. So I'm just going to show you guys like what I did to this room. It's not much, but yeah, I literally just moved everything, like I said, from my old space to this space. You guys remember this from my old space, my clothing rack, and these are the blinds from my old space. But if you look at the length of these blinds and then the window I have here, they are like way smaller. The windows are way smaller than the blinds, so I have to sell these blinds to be able to buy like new blinds and fix them. If you guys remember this mirror from my old space, you notice that now I'm able to like use the lights that came with a mirror. My old space, I didn't have any socket to plug the lights, so I'm able to plug it now. This is not mine. I came to meet this here. I never owned this. This is my wardrobe. This is my bag stand. I recently got this. This is new. This is also new. These are like the only new things in my room at the moment. This curtain is not mine either. I came to meet it here. I want to fix blinds. I'm not a curtain type of girl. I'm a blind type of girl. So I just use command strips to hold the curtain in place. And yeah, that's what it looks like. This is my vision board. This bed is not mine as well. If you guys can remember, my bed was white. My shelves are here. My fridge is here. Nothing extra. My small bin. Ignore the box here. And yeah. I mean, all these things are from my old place, if you guys can remember. This table looks a mess. But I would arrange it. Like, I'm really, really tired. I didn't really do anything extra to this space, like I already said. So let me show you guys my washroom. I like the washroom here. Like, I really like it. This is my washroom. I have like flowing water and everything here. This is a sink, all my stuff are here. I want to get that rack for the water closet so I can put all my stuff on that rack. But yeah, this is my washroom. I really, really like my washroom. It's very, very spacious as compared to my old space. Nothing really going on here. That's my laundry bag, and yeah, that's basically it. Your girl is really exhausted, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Most importantly, I hope you learned something from this video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in another video. I love you guys so much.